I have a friend. She plays games on a computer, but she also has a console in which she plays games. Over time, just getting to play games with her, I've learned that she prefers controller over mouse and keyboard. And yes, that does apply even to computer games. But it got me. I was wondering, why do you prefer the controller? It turns out, in time, she's actually left handed. And because of that, she feels like it's a lot more confusing to use a mouse and keyboard, which is completely understandable, especially if you did not grow up playing on a mouse and keyboard as a kid. From my understanding, she also did not grow up playing on a controller. While playing whatever games we have played together, when using a controller, she also has this extra issue to where she cannot move and look around at the same time. My parents have played games, newer games, and they respond the same way. I have younger siblings and friends who have younger siblings who play games with a controller, and they respond the exact same way. I'm guessing that somewhere along the lines of just experiencing games and playing them growing up, you learn that you can multitask by using both hands at the same time whenever it comes to doing anything operating through a game. And it really hit me. It had me wondering. I was like, well, if that is the case, if that actually is what's going down, how are you able to, play the games that we've been playing together? Because we played a whole handful of games. And she told me, oh, well, I just kind of go with whatever happens. She was explaining that not just with me, but with other people that she's played games with, she doesn't understand how to maneuver through a lot of it. And she doesn't understand how to actually play a lot of the games. She basically just does what people tell her, and that gets her through the whole gaming process. And I thought, well, that's a pretty terrible way to experience games, wouldn't you say? You're not necessarily playing them because you enjoy them. You're playing them because people that you enjoy are telling you to play them. And I feel like you'll never actually grow or learn playing games if you're doing it for the reasons of making somebody else happy. You should be finding out why you're playing them in your own personal right. It's kind of like when you want to go to school or when you want a specific career or something. You shouldn't be doing it for somebody else. You should be doing it for yourself. With that being said, I am aware that people play games for their friends and whatnot. That is completely relatable. It's completely understandable. But in this regard, if you're solely playing games for somebody and you're not actually learning much of anything unless they're outright telling you, and from what she's told me, they really aren't teaching or telling her much, including me because she rarely ever asks. It's like you're kind of just turning on your console or turning on your computer or whatever the case may be, and you're just on autopilot. And that can be boring. It can be unenthusiastic. It can leave you unmotivated to do much of anything as far as gaming goes because you'll have such a terrible look on everything because of how you were introduced to it and how you continue to move through it. So that led me thinking, who else is like that? Who else is out there doing the same thing? How many other people are playing games because they've seen their favorite whoever do it or because they've had friends or whoever's doing it? How many people are going through this as well? And I decided that I wanted to make something reaching out to people to introduce, genres and goofy moments and whatever else I can to try to help others find out what it is that you can do and what it is that you can play that would really make you stick to a game yourself. So here's that.